Kempire is brought to you by LA. Thank you so much for an amazing Kempire After Dark live experience. But now, next up is London. We're coming to London on December 8th. And shout out to those of you that are actually flying from the United States to London to be a part of the show. I can't wait to party and have a good kiki with you at the Kempire After Dark live experience London, our first international show. And then we're coming back to DC. January 24th of 2025, we'll be in DC for the Kempire After Dark live experience, and then we're coming back to New York City. The date hasn't been announced yet, but stay tuned for more. Make sure you're following us on all socials so that you don't miss out on those dates. And as always, for more information on everything Kempire, check out the description and episode notes for more details. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. I know you've been waiting to hear my thoughts on the premiere episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but you know I was here in Los Angeles for the Kempire After Dark live experience. Oh, I'm going to talk more about this exclusively on the podcast like we've done before. And I know a lot of you, are you recording? Look, I'm sure you'll see clips and things like that, but that's the whole point of the Kempire After Dark live experience. It's to give you a show, but really it's for all of us to meet in person and have a kiki. And let me tell you, I just never know what tea will be spilled, but the Diddy tea that was spilled at this show, and if you were there, you know it was a time. And this is what I talk about when I say the Kempire After Dark live experience. What you get here on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Twitter is just not the same. It's just not the same. But shout out to those of you that have experienced it on the East Coast. This is our very first West Coast show. I know you guys are asking for more shows. Stay tuned. I definitely have to come back to LA. You guys showed up and showed out, and I promise we'll try and do it on a Friday night as opposed to a Wednesday night. But y'all still showed up for the Wednesday night. Shout out to the Bourbon Room. Shout out to Zach Peter for his support. Shout out to Claire Sumners from Fashion Bomb Daily who came through. Shout out to all of you that were there and brought the tea. The Diddy tea. Oh! Sorry. But first, let's get into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. My quick thoughts. I didn't take notes, so I'm just going to do this off the top of my dome. But I watched it like 2 or 3 times. And then we talked about it last night. And, sidebar, shout out to Alexander Diane Rogers, who was our MC for the night and tore up the stage. It was a great, great, great time. All right, let's get into our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit your notification bell. And sidebar, I was on Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop as well this week. I've been busy. Now I'm all talked out. Maybe I should just give up on this recap. No, but go check that out. You can see it here on YouTube, Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald, and you can hear it on everywhere you get your podcasts. As always, go drop your crowns and your elephants to let them know the community is here. All right, let's get into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, look, some people have asked me, are you excited for the new season of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? And it's not that I wasn't excited, but I also wasn't excited. Here's the thing. The trailer didn't do it for me. I didn't feel like the trailer gave me any reason to be excited, especially with Kyle running through there crying. I'm tired of it. Look, I appreciate what Kyle has given over the years. I'm never going to sit here and say, oh my God, I'm so over Kyle. No, I can't. No, I will say that. But I will never say that she hasn't contributed to this franchise. I would never say that. The same with NeNe. I would never say that. Honestly, I would rather see NeNe back, though. Just saying. And look, you never know. But the constant crying and the gaslighting in this episode, the gaslighting of Dorit, the gaslighting of the audience. I don't want to mention Morgan. She didn't even say her. She's not going to say her name this season. I don't know if she is actively questioning her sexuality. Sidebar on the after show. Why are we getting an after show for Potomac? Here's the thing. Even if Potomac isn't the best of their best seasons right now, and it's not bad season, don't get me wrong, but these ladies would bring it in an after show, like giving us the context that we need, the shade that we need. I'm just so shocked. Did you guys spend all the budget on the trip and in the graphics this season? Why is Salt Lake City and Beverly Hills getting the after shows? I just never understood how they decide on who gets an after show versus who doesn't get an after show. Why doesn't everyone get an after show? Okay, except Roni. Roni doesn't need an after show. Please, Control-Alt-Delete. No. Okay. No. Anyways, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Oh, I gotta turn my, this is It's early here, y'all. My body is still on East Coast time. This is why I am up early doing this recap. Okay. But if you're on the East Coast and you're like, oh, this is not early. No, it's early here on the West Coast. Okay. Anyways, where was I? Oh, Kyle and her incessant crying. Yeah. That didn't sell me. That didn't sell me. Erica Jayne is definitely having a redemption arc, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with some of the things that she said over the years. I will never forget. I have an elephant brain. You already know. I will never forget some of the things that she said about the victims, Tom Girardi's victims. And she clearly benefited from her relationship with Tom Girardi over the years. But there are plenty of women that have benefited from these types of relationships. Look at Bronwyn. However, I definitely think that Bronwyn, if she found out the Todd father, had been ripping off victims, I think she would be able to find a balance between, well, this was my husband or this is my husband versus, oh, I don't know about these victims. Are they really victims? Like, she did a lot of gaslighting. I will never forget, because it's in those moments that people show you who they really are. So I get it. I've always thought that Erica was probably for Beverly Hills, very down to earth, very laid back. I always liked that side of her. Like, I always thought that her, Garcelle, all of them could have a really good time together because they don't take themselves so seriously. So I'm enjoying Erica in this moment, in where we don't have to talk about the Tom Girardi court case or anything like that. We will, because as you know, Tom Girardi was convicted this past year. So that all will play out. It will be interesting. It will be interesting to see what her storyline will be, but she's sort of caught in between her two friendships with Kyle Richards and Dorit. One thing that I've never forgotten, and I always like to be transparent with you guys, and maybe I'm a downer because I'm always letting you guys know, is this real? Is this pre-produced? The rumors for years, when the Fox Force flunkies were still together, still banded together, hey Teddy, the Nat. Look, we still don't care, Teddy. We still don't care. Shout out to Alexander for giving you a moment at our show last night in regards to talking about Teddy Mellencamp and her affair. Okay? Because I was not about to give her a moment. Anyways, so the Fox Force Flunkies have been accused of, before season begins, they will get together and pre-produce whatever their storyline is going to be. So I just want to preface this by saying, I know everyone is saying I'm Team Dorit. This is Dorit's year. This is her season. First of all, that was already being said in the media. It's PR. But we have to remember, I wouldn't be shocked that the falling out between Dorit and Kyle might be pre-produced. Just hear me out and watch throughout the season. It might be pre-produced. Or I can hear you saying, but Kempire, no, Kyle really is obnoxious. Maybe Kyle is self-producing and Dorit doesn't realize. No. I do feel as if Dorit is self-producing. I think she is producing with Kyle, because we already know that there are so many stories, real stories, when it comes to Dorit that she has never talked about on this show. Now we have the pre-foreclosure. And I will give Dorit this. In one episode, in one scene, she talks about the suspected DUI, the bankruptcy. All of that stuff happened in one sentence from Dorit. And it was like, oh, so you're confirming all these things that we have not discussed on the show. But here's why I don't necessarily believe Dorit's storyline, and that is her separation from PK. First of all, there have been stories about PK and Dorit living separate lives for years. And there have been speculations that, oh, this is the season that they're going to get a divorce. I've always felt, and specifically this season, I feel like Dorit is deciding. I don't believe that there really is a love between Dorit and PK. I don't think there's been a love between Dorit and PK in a long time. Okay. However, I think very much, and I said this last season with Kyle and Mauricio, I do believe that there were problems in their relationships. I just feel like this is the time they've decided to make it their storyline. Because, okay, now we're really going to move forward with this divorce. Remember, Kyle and Mauricio haven't filed for divorce either. And she did an interview recently, and they were asking about her filing for divorce. And she has no intentions of filing divorce yet. And look, realistically, remember, these two came together. They had nothing. They built an empire of millions between them, between the agency and her own money and her, deals and what she makes at Bravo. So there are millions of dollars on the table, more so on his end. So it probably behooves him not to divorce her yet. So, because here's the thing, there have been rumors about Kyle and Mauricio's relationship that he's cheated for years, and they've talked about it on the show. Do I believe those rumors? Yes, I do. I do believe that Mauricio may have cheated on Kyle multiple times, allegedly. I don't know for sure, but if you were to ask my opinion, do I believe? I do. I do. And I do believe that Kyle did turn a blind eye. I know she's denied that. She was like, why would I ever do something like that? Kyle, I believe that you would. And I don't judge you because of it. Okay, maybe a little bit. No, I don't. There are plenty of people in Kyle's position that look the other way for whatever reason, the lifestyle, or, they were in a relationship, or because they have children. Who knows? But now as the kids have gotten older, it's now not a priority to stay together anymore. Just saying. I think that's what the clip that they used of me last season in regards to talking about the relationship. God, just take a moment. I'm going to take a moment. You guys take a moment as well, just to be grateful, first of all, that we're still here a year later, how much we as a community have achieved here on the channel. And for those that are listening to the podcast, we're growing our podcast as well. So we've come a long way together, okay? And we're still here. We're still hopefully happy and healthy, okay? So back to Dorit and her storyline. Now, let me go back to Erica Jayne. So the very first scene, when I came here last year, I literally walked by that specific design center thing. I don't know if it was even open at that time, but there was construction going on in regards to that street because I was staying at a hotel near that area. So I remember it. And I was like, oh, wait, they're going. I didn't realize that they sell furniture and things like that in there. If I had time while I was here, I would go. Not that I could buy anything, but it doesn't hurt to look. I got a new place. Maybe I can get a little trinket or something. So Erica has decided that she is going to change up her furniture and things like look, I have to give it to Erica. I know she's living in a rental, but apparently she likes it. I thought she might have upgraded her life. And, there have been rumors that she's got a new man and blah, blah, blah. Oh, who knows? But maybe because of her financial situation, it's just better for her to just stay in one place. So, but she wants to upgrade it. And look, I agree with her therapist. If things hold energy and memories, okay? I remember in 8th grade, this is why I majored in psychology in college, because I was always fascinated, and this is why I love reality television too. I was always fascinated with the things that trigger people when it comes to, do smells and pictures and things like that trigger memories. I did a science experiment in the 8th grade about that. So I agree with the therapist that sometimes when she looks at the furniture that she could take from her time with Tom in that mansion, it probably reminds her of that time. I could definitely see that. I mean, I have pieces of furniture that I took with me from my house to this apartment that spark memories. Like there are trinkets that I bought during travels that spark memories, good feelings. But I'm sure when she looks at some of her furniture, it sparks probably not the best feelings, especially with everything she's gone through with Tom Girardi. So she meets up with Dorit, and literally in that first scene, I was like, these women are really not friends. She's like, oh my God, it's been so long. I haven't seen you. Yes, Dorit in her fake accent. They're not deep friends. I believe that Kyle and Dorit were definitely more friendly than Kyle would like us to believe. But I don't think Erica is. Erica is really hanging out with Lisa Rinna. She recently said in an interview that Lisa Rinna, she's got a lot going on, and she's never going to return to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're okay with that. We're okay with that. Bye. Thank you for your services, but not. Anyways. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And I know we are done with the Kempire After Dark live experience here in LA. And I know some of you are like, oh my God, I didn't know you were here. Well, y'all, the way that I was talking about this in every single video, How did you miss it? How did you miss it? Anyways, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming to London. Literally, I'm leaving in less than 2 weeks for London. On the road again. But I'm excited for our London show. Again, you just never know what's going to be spilled. You just never know what people are going to say. I am excited for that experience. And then we're coming back to Washington, D.C. on January 24th. And stay tuned. We are going to announce our New York City date at the top of next year as well. So if you're in New York City or will be in New York City, for those that want me to come to your city, like, you know, the lower, well, first of all, if you're in like North Carolina, Virginia, come to the DC show. That might be your best bet. Miami, things like that. I right now, the capacity for me to book shows in those areas right now, I just don't have the bandwidth to plot and plan and book those shows. I'm being honest with you. Houston, you guys have been asking. I've mentioned this to the team. I have no promises, but just know that we are trying. Okay, we are trying. Okay. All right. I say all that to say more information on the Kempire After Dark live experience will be available in the description. London, you're up next. Go get your tickets if you haven't gotten them already. All right. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, there's so much. I didn't take notes, so I'm doing this off the top of the dome. Literally watched the episode yesterday and the day before yesterday. And we talked briefly about it during the Kempire After Dark live experience last night here in LA. Jennifer Tilly. I'm worried, not for Jennifer Tilly. I'm worried for her friendship with Sutton because we talked about this before. Real Housewives, reality television ruins a lot of marriages, but they also ruin relationships. And I don't want that for Jennifer Tilly and Sutton because I know a lot of people, oh my God, a lot of the fans are like, bring Jennifer on. Da, da. And look, the other side of that is that it can spark friendships. Look at Garcelle and Sutton. That's a real friendship. Like these women this is what I love about them. I know so many people like they don't have a storyline, but they have a real friendship. That is their storyline, their friendship and holding people accountable. Okay. But I'm just concerned. I mean, Jennifer Tilly, beautiful home. Beautiful home. You know, there are rumors first of all, she's already had her own career. Let's not take away from that. But she was also with the guy that was behind The Simpsons, and she helped take care of him when he was sick. And apparently she gets a percentage from The Simpsons. So they say that's part of why she has a very good life. Jennifer Tilly, good for you. She seems like a very sweet woman. The after show features her, Sutton, and Garcelle. It seems that now there's this trifecta of a friendship between them, which I love. I just don't want the show to ruin their friendship. And they've been friends for over 10 years. It feels like longer because some of those photos feel like they were from like a good while ago. So maybe Sutton meant longer because those photos, I don't think are just 10 years ago. Look, the pandemic makes us think that 2019 was only a couple of years ago. No, it was 5 years ago? Just saying. It's almost 6 years ago. Okay. I know you're all having that moment like, oh my God, like that pandemic messed up our timeline. There was a glitch in the timeline. It feels like it. Anyways, you didn't come here for that. So I'm concerned. I like her. I like the real friendship between her and Sutton. Sutton talks about her relationship with Kyle and talked about how she misses Kyle and how maybe she went a little too far last season with trying to hold Kyle accountable. I don't think so. Name him. Like, that's iconic now. No matter what you say about Sutton, like, people are, like, literally during our live show, we're not even talking about Sutton. People are asking me a question. They're like, name him. like, that's iconic, okay? But I'm just concerned about their friendship. And look, sometimes these are the moments where you really have to show up in your friendship to make sure that you don't allow the Bravo universe, because fans will do that, the Bravo universe or production, because production and the network will do that as well, to come between your friendship, your real friendship. Okay. So like, even when they announced that Jennifer Tilly was going to be on the show, I was like, oh, I don't want this to ruin it. Like, I'm invested. Like, I don't want this to ruin a real friendship, because friendships are hard to come by, like real ones. So I would much rather my friendship than a TV show. And I don't think Jennifer Tilly needs a TV show. Okay. I don't think so. I think she's like, I'm going to film with my friend and get paid for it. Why not? But we didn't get a lot of Jennifer Tilly. We did get to see her home. But yeah. All right, speaking of newbies on the show, Bozoma St. John. Come on. If I was in the studio, y'all know I'd be like, boop, 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 boop. First of all, beautiful, stunning, okay? Literally in her conversation with Dorit at the end, I know she will learn because I don't care what anyone says. Dorit, there is an issue when it comes to people of color with Dorit. And look, I know some people are uncomfortable with that, but I'm just going to say it. But do I feel like she attached herself to Bozoma for a reason, on an ulterior motive? And for those that are listening to podcast versions, we got to watch the video too. Anyways, but Bozoma, first of all, Chief Marketing Officer. I know some people will say, oh, CEO or COO. No, she was the Chief Marketing Officer for several major companies, including Uber, Netflix, and others. So this woman is accomplished. She says that she retired. Look, I say that I retired from the corporate world, but I still got to work. I still got to work for now, but that is the goal. I can't wait to say to you guys one that, because I speak things into existence because my voice is that powerful. My manifestation powers are that powerful. I look forward to the day when I say to you guys, I am fully retired. Like this coming on here, kikiing with you guys, going on into it's for fun and giggles. I mean, it is for fun and giggles still. But here's the thing. What I will say, first of all, I already knew about her resume. I was like, wow. Why is she coming down from there to us down here on reality television? But maybe she's not dumb either. She understands if she started this brand, I think it's like a hair brand. Love the logo that she has. She started this brand. So she's like, yeah, I'm going to bring it on here. And I know a lot of housewives do this all the time, but a lot of housewives do not have the skill set that she has and has been brought into other major companies to utilize. So she, like, yes, we know many housewives come on these shows and they're already marketing something to us. Yes, but they don't have what she has. So I'm excited to see what Bozoma is going to offer as a personality, but also as a branding genius. However, on the other side of that, I'm just concerned because she is a branding genius that are we going to get an authentic person, or are we going to get a branding genius that knows how to give us something that is believable, but it's not really her? I don't know. What I've seen so far feels like really her. And understanding her story, she lost her husband, but I love how she told Dorit, she was like, 10 years in, like we were falling apart, but then he got sick and it brought us back together. I'm sure we're going to delve more into that. But so far, first of all, gorgeous, smart, and she felt like she molded into the group very easily. Very easily. I appreciated that. Anyways, moving on from there, I wanted to talk about the newbies. I should have their picture in front of me, but I will remember everything because I have a fantastic brain. Okay, a fantastic brain. So the first scene we have with Erica, Jayne, and Dorit, they flash back to that scene because after Erica leaves Dorit, she goes to see Kyle. So they're flashing back when they are talking about Kyle and Dorit's issues. Here's the thing. Okay, let's pretend that they really do have an issue and this is not pre-produced. Okay? Let's pretend that it's real. I'm going to pretend because I don't know if I believe that it's real. And it might be just a storyline this season. I know, storyline, self-produced. And have I become jaded from watching reality television, or have I learned from watching many years of reality television what people do and how people are not showing up as their authentic selves anymore because reality television has been around for almost 20 years. So, Dorit and Kyle's relationship. Kyle, you are reaching. We are talking about BravoCon, what she said about BravoCon. We're talking about the text message that she read. Like, it's not making sense. It seems as if the 1 minute someone says, okay, that excuse is not really a great excuse, you have a new excuse. I feel, look, if I had to pick a team, I'm Team Dorit because I feel like Kyle doesn't have a legitimate excuse. Even at the reunion when I felt that Dorit's intention in regards to what she was doing between Kyle and Kathy's relationship, And she wasn't doing anything. I feel like she was trying to mitigate that situation in order to help them heal. I don't feel like, unlike Lisa Rinna, I feel like she was trying to bring them together, not pull them apart. What Kyle wanted in that moment was a yes man. And me personally, we could never be friends, Kyle. Kyle, you're a Capricorn. Like there's some things about that Kyle that I'm like, okay, I could see the Capricorn, but there are other things. This is why you need to know people's charts. I wouldn't be surprised she's got a lot of water in her chart. And yes, I know she cries a lot, but that's one of the reasons. So her trying to say what was said at BravoCon, like she was kept on trying to find a reason to be mad at Dorit. And honestly, I don't feel like Dorit has been a bad friend to her. I really don't. And don't be surprised at the end of the season or at the reunion that these two resolve their issues and they're best of friends again. And they flash back to the Amazon Live that Kyle did, where Kyle talks about, they were never really that close. So what is it, Kyle? You guys were never really that close? So who are you actually close with? Are you actually close with Sutton? Because based on what I've seen, I thought you were actually closer with Dorit than you were with Sutton. Oh, we may have gone on one trip together. Really? I don't believe that. I really believe that these two have been in cahoots. Maybe it's not a real deep friendship as they want to portray it to be, but they definitely are closer than probably the rest of the cast. They're also neighbors. Anyways, I'll get back to Kyle and Dorit just because that is how the episode ends. Let's go back to Garcelle. So Garcelle, as you know, has been booked and busy. Some of you on social media are so bothered by Garcelle. Garcelle did a recent interview, I think it was with the New York Times, talking about being the first Black woman on, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I said this back then when Garcelle was on there. Garcelle has had to deal with a lot being a Black woman, first of all, in Hollywood, but in this Bravo universe. And I've told you, the Bravo universe, not us, but the Bravo universe can be a very toxic, homophobic, racist world. It can. It has those inklings in there. If you saw some of the comment section, if you look at Garcelle's comment section sometimes, it can be really toxic. It can be really racist. And I know a lot of people wanted to blame Lisa Rinna and Diana Jenkins in regards to the racist tweets that her son experienced. And I told you back then, it could have been them. And some people have alleged that it was. But I also understood that, it didn't need to be Lisa or Diana. I believe that it could have easily been one of these racist fans doing that. So Garcelle never came out and said what her findings were in regards to that investigation, but her son has decided not to be on the show because of that. All right, her other son, Oliver, was on this episode. Oliver has a new baby coming, not with his wife. I don't even know if he's gotten the divorce yet. Oliver is a spitting image of Garcelle. Like that, like his face, like both beautiful people. But I just saw that they were celebrating that he's having another baby. But the woman wasn't his wife. I don't know if I'm assuming I don't know. I don't know if they've gotten divorced. But Garcelle was talking about being in Hollywood this long, and she remembers early on people said, a woman in her 40s. I can only imagine a woman in her 40s and also Black in Hollywood. Look, Taraji P. Henson was talking about how underpaid Black women are and how there aren't a lot of opportunities for Black actresses in Hollywood. But Garcelle has been she's having a moment, okay? Garcelle, for all of us that knew Garcelle before she came on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, knew that she was that girl. From a model to being on the Jamie Foxx show, movies. So she's having this resurgence. She has multiple series. I believe one's on Netflix. There's another one. Is it on Hulu? I can't remember. She's got a few things. And she's got the Lifetime stuff that she's doing and producing. And shout out to Eric. I'm loving to see, I want to see another scene with Garcelle and Erica just hanging out, having a good time. I think we're going to get that this season because they're sexy, they're single. Well, technically single for Erica Jayne. She's not divorced. So legally she's not single, but in her head, she's single. But I want to see these two have a good kiki and a good time. I don't want to see them fighting. We've seen that. We've seen that. We see where that can go. Fine, we've been there, done that. But now, how many years later of working on the same show, I don't see them hanging out outside of the show. I haven't seen anything. I don't really follow everyone. I follow Garcelle, but I don't follow Erica. So I don't know if they've hung out outside of the show. Like I see Garcelle hanging out with Sutton and Jennifer Tilly and Eric and Crystal Kung Minkoff. Here's the thing. Garcelle was all of us when she realized that now with Dorit announcing her separation, because that was the main plot. Dorit at the top of this, there was the announcement literally like days before my birthday, announced her separation. Wait, sidebar. Congrats to Grace Report. Grace Report's voice, literally, I'm watching the episode. I was like, I know that voice. Because Grace and I, we send voice, like especially recently, Grace and I send voice notes on WhatsApp all the time. We have full-on conversations via voice notes. So I know her voice very well. Okay. So I was like, I think that's Grace Report. So she posted it on her Instagram story, and I was like, I knew it was you. I knew it was you. So her voice is featured along with all of the other reporters and things like that were reporting on Dorit's divorce or separation. I don't know. Did I do it? I don't think I did. I just thinking about it, and I was like, because I thought it was did I report on that? I'm sure I talked about it, but I don't remember if I ever did like a video. Sorry. But y'all knew it happened. Shout out to Grace. Okay. So congratulations to Grace Report. I just thought to myself, like, did I ever talk about that? I definitely talked about Kyle and Mauricio's divorce because I remember reporting on that. I was in Greece at the time. Okay. But anyways, I guess I just didn't care. Or maybe I was somewhere. Like maybe I was traveling. I don't know. Who cares? Oh, wait, no, I was traveling. It was around my birthday. So I was in London? No, I was in Portugal. I was in Portugal for my birthday this year. I was in London last year. I was in London last year. Look at me traveling, and I'm going back to London in less than a couple of weeks. Oh God, let me get on this flight. Let me get on this flight and get back home and decorate for Christmas. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. All right. And I will be doing a separate episode talking about Kempire After Dark live from LA. A lot to talk about, a lot to share. Okay. All right. Where was I? Oh, Garcelle. First of all, Garcelle talked about how, she's just celebrating the fact that after being in Hollywood this long, having the career that she's had and being as busy as she is now, she didn't expect that. And I can imagine like early in her career thinking like, okay, I'm about to hit my 40s. I got to figure out something else out. And that's, a lot of people wonder why she decided to do Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I think she was just thinking, first of all, she wanted to be home more with her kids, but also she was like, you know what? I got to start, figuring out what's next. And Garcelle has done a good job with that. Garcelle, I will say this, and you know what? I'm going to send you a DM too. I'm going to send you a DM because I need this to come back. In Bed with Garcelle, her podcast. I don't like a lot of podcasts, but I like that because it had nothing to do with reality television. It had all to do with dating, sex, and relationships, and her friend. I am literally going to send her a DM because I've been saying this since last season. It's like, bring it back. Bring it back. Because she's good. I also, there's not a lot of people that I think that would be great with having a talk show. She did The Real for a little bit. I want to see Garcelle do a talk show. I think she would be fantastic at it. There's a lot of people on daytime television that are not fantastic at it. She's had the experience. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next thing for her. But Garcelle, if you do that next, you need to quit Beverly Hills. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She did it. Remember, she did The Real while she was still on Beverly Hills. But when you do your own show, that's the time for you to exit. Exit before people are saying it's time for Garcelle to go. There's still people saying that. But anyways, nope, not my Garcelle. You know why? Either way, Garcelle could leave. I mean, I'm sure she's making a good check over at Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's trying to set herself up. She's still got young boys, but she's putting them to work already. Her other son is modeling now. Like he has the look. Remember, for those that don't know, Garcelle was a model first. Okay. So she knows that world. So now that he's getting into that world, I'm like, this is really cool to kind of watch and see. Her oldest son could have been a model too. He's good looking. She's got good looking kids. Anyways, congrats to Garcelle and everything that she's got going on. All right. what else did I want to say in regards to, was there anything else I went? Oh, no, we'll get back to Garcelle because we got things to talk about. Why was everyone so like going crazy over that Dorit was smoking a cigarette? But then Alexander Diane Rogers said maybe it was because of the way she was smoking it. Like she's like leaned over. But then I was just saying, like, still. But that's the Bravo universe. A lot of times the Bravo universe will make a big deal out of things that we just would never have thought would have been a big deal. We see it all the time. But that seems to be like, she's smoking, she's going through this, the announcement. According to Dorit, paparazzi were following her. All right, fine. Fine. Okay. I'm trying to think of everything else that played off in this episode before we get to the surrealism party. Kathy Hilton, Dorit apparently, despite her not having a friendship with Kyle this season, this is why I don't necessarily believe it. And look, yes, people still have their relationships with Kathy Hilton because they want to be invited to the parties and things like that. So Dorit goes and has a conversation with Kathy about what she's going through in her relationship with PK. Look, I'm not gonna just just beat a dead horse with this in regards to, I don't know if I believe this. I do believe that they have been separated and disconnected for a long time. I believe that you're just using it now as a storyline. She has no intentions on filing divorce. She talked about that on Watch What Happens Live. She has no intention of actually filing for divorce. So that was also, she also has not told her children. Okay, Stacey from Real Housewives of Potomac said the same thing. She hasn't told Arabella about the divorce until the divorce is finalized. And look, she has no intentions of divorcing him yet, Dorit. So she's like, she's not going to tell the kids, but she says if the kids have questions, she'll respond. But they're living separate lives. They've been living separate lives. I'm happy for PK if if he's getting help for his alcoholism. He's trying to live a sober life. I don't know how that's going to work. Him and Mauricio partying it up. What was it, Miami or something like that? I don't know. But I say all that to say, look, I say all that to say. So Dorit, Kathy's still Kathy. Okay. Let's just get to the surrealism party. All right. Let me just get the definition for surrealism because clearly Dorit didn't know what she was doing in regards to surrealism. And when I was on Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald, she asked me, I was like, it was hard to explain it because, look, we learned this in high school in regards to the surrealism era. But this is the definition, okay? Surrealism. The principles, ideals, or practice of producing fantastic or incongruous imagery or effects in art, literature, film, or theater by means of unnatural or irrational juxtapositions and combinations. I know you're like, what? I still don't get it. I still don't get it. But here's the other definition. They said a 20th century avant-garde, okay, movement in art and literature which sought to release the creative potential of the unconscious mind. For example, okay, we won't go into that. So that is what surrealism, and that's what the era of surrealism was all about. They also say, surrealism artists sought to explore the realm of unconscious and dreams through their work. So that's why you saw Sutton with the horns. What Dorit was giving in that costume wasn't really surrealism. It was definitely more modern than anything. If anything, it was probably her modern take on surrealism. So they said surrealist artists sought to explore the realm of unconscious and dreams through their work, creating bizarre, dreamlike images that defied logical interpretation. At its core, surrealism is characterized by three main themes: dreams, the unconscious, and the irrational. I think it was important for us because I know a lot of us, some of you, shout out to all of you that have the experience, intelligence, and remembrance of what surrealism is. I just remember it was an era. And based off of everyone's costumes, I will definitely give it to Sutton. She had a great look, but I'll definitely give it to Erika Jayne. Who was your favorite look, though? I have to say, Bozoma's entrance was fantastic. Do I feel like it was giving surrealism? That could be argued. That could be argued. It didn't scream surrealism to me. If I was to see her and say what theme is she going for, that was a little bit more floral than anything. But then it could give us that dream aspect of surrealism. So when she entered, I was like, whoa, look at this. The chocolatey skin, the curvatures in her hair, and the flowery dress. It was gorgeous. Okay. Sutton looked good. Like she definitely fit within the theme. Kyle, very similar to Sutton's look as well. She definitely fit into the theme. Kyle, did you get a refresh on your face? Like, I don't know if it was the makeup, but Kyle's face looked refreshed. It looks younger. Just saying. It could have been makeup too, but it looked like a good refresh. But she's also on this new health journey too. So that probably could have helped as well. Who else? Oh, Erica Jayne with the eyes and things like that, to me, was a modern take a little bit on surrealism, but also it could be just straight up surrealism. But it kind of felt like a mix of both. I liked her look. I think her look might have been like my favorite because it definitely was avant-garde. She definitely understood the assignment. Garcelle, look, we say this all the time when it comes to Garcelle's fashion. It was just okay for me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like it was completely off from the theme, but it was good. It was good. Okay. I don't remember what Jennifer Tilly. No, I can see Jennifer Tilly's look. I guess it was okay. Nothing to write home about. Kathy Hilton arrives very much late. And she's having, I feel like at this particular point, Kathy is kooky in real life. However, I do believe she turns it up for the cameras. Who else? Dorit's look. Dorit, again, it was giving like Lady Gaga. I mean, fine. It was maybe a modern take on surrealism, like I said. Okay. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, and I probably am. He's talking about Bozoma, but it's fine. Look, it's fine. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the video. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Off the top of my dome, I can't remember every single thing that happened. Once I'm back in the studio, we will do a proper recap, maybe for episode 2. I still have to do my recaps for Real Housewives of New York. And I need to do my recap for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I haven't even watched it yet. And shout out to those of you that still came to my LA show. And we were partying on a Wednesday night. But we had a packed house, right? We had a good mix of people in there. We had a good time. So shout out to all of you that came to the Kempire After Dark live experience. Don't forget, if you're in London or will be in London, shout out to the young woman. She was getting me together because she was like, I'm so mad at you because I had booked my trip to London and not knowing that I was coming to London. And the day that I was leaving, I find out that you're coming, your live show's that the day after. So she changed her ticket. She's coming. So shout out to those of you that are traveling. Some of you aren't traveling for me. Some of you wanted to travel with me. I apologize, guys. Look, if you understand the business side of this, if I could have told you back in September about this date, I don't even think we had this date back in September. But we had it pretty early, but you have to wait before you can make announcements. Like we're waiting to announce New York. So make sure you guys get your tickets, though, if you're in London. Look, I can't wait to just go to London and see London for the holidays. I love Christmas. Come on now. So, and my holiday stuff that I normally do during the holidays is going to be like haphazard just because I'll be in London for, a little bit. So we'll try and make do. But once I get back from London, I'll take a break and just be like, okay. All right. Really enjoy the holidays. But I really enjoyed meeting all of you during the Kempire After Dark live experience. And like I said, London sparked this idea of the Kempire After Dark live experience. So it's only kismet that we're going back to London and doing this. And Grace Report will be our MC. We're going to have a lot of really cool things happening over in London. And, a lot of people ask me, what exactly is the show? Like, are you telling jokes? I'm not a comedian, so I'm never going to sit here and tell you that I'm telling jokes. However, people laugh a lot. We have a good time. We talk about hot topics. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. That's what he said. Shut up. And look, there's just the things that we can't say here Oh, I'm saying it there. All right. And people are spilling tea. I'm spilling tea. It's a good time, London. And I have to work on my accent. More information on the Kempire After Dark Live shows for London and DC and soon New York will be available in the description. So get your tickets today if you haven't already. All right. All right. So the surrealism party, fun time. Sutton knows how to throw a party. The costumes, I think they should do this every year. There was a alpaca that was here. What's the difference between a llama and an alpaca? There is a difference. I would have said llama too. Anyways, she had a monkey there. Like she threw a good party. Beverly Hills ladies do a little different. Sidebar, I've been listening to Humble Brag with Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Kung Minkoff. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. So in Garcelle's confessional, damn, I must have started that sentence earlier in this recap and didn't finish it. But Garcelle had said that she was all of us when she realized that everyone in this group, with the announcement of Dorit's divorce, is single. And I'm a little concerned because remember, when Real Housewives of New York was losing its steam before the reboot, all of those women were single. And we're talking about the Real Housewives. So the fact that we lost Crystal and Kung Minkoff, I'm like, and look, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like you didn't like her Kempire. I didn't. She was not the brightest. When I say brightest, meaning that she wasn't the most exciting person on the show. However, she does live that life. And I really do enjoy her on the podcast because on the podcast, she can really be herself as opposed to what is edited down and what we get. Her and Cynthia are a great duo. And I'm a little behind. Matter of fact, I need to download their podcast so I can listen to it on the plane back. But yeah, where was I getting with this? Anyways, I'm sure I will remember. Okay, so we were talking about Garcelle mentioning that all the women were single. I was thinking about Crystal and how much I think Crystal might be needed on this show. But the reason why I thought about Crystal was because she used to throw good parties too. And she loves to throw parties. Oh, and then it made me think about what she said on her podcast in regards to, you remember it's not, what is that where they had the big white party, but it was like Kyle's white party. But she said on her podcast, Crystal, that actually it was her connect that got them that got them the stadium. Like Crystal is that girl. She might not have the biggest personality, which I'm okay with. She really is the Cynthia Bailey of Beverly Hills. But even Cynthia just, I don't know. I don't know, Crystal. I can definitely see Crystal coming back. But then I'm like, no, Crystal, you don't need this show. You lived that life already. But she's a wife. And she seems to have a good marriage. They might need her. They might need her. I mean, I'm not saying that I missed her necessarily, but I'm concerned that everyone on the show is single. And I'm okay with it because it doesn't really matter if you're a big personality and you're living that life. It's not really about the husbands. And the husbands are really still there. PK's still there. Mauricio's still there. They're friends. We'll see them on the show. You will see Mauricio on the show. But yeah, I miss Crystal a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't miss 8.5. Did you guys see that 8.5 was weighing in? Camille Grammer was like, if you feel like Real Housewives has become too woke. For me, that's a microaggression. And we can always unpack that a little bit because there are people, and I'm sure some of you that are watching this are like, yeah, I do feel like we've become too woke. And look, this is coming from a time where I think a lot of us dealt with things that we shouldn't be dealing with. Because for years we heard about some of this Diddy stuff and we just kind of turned a blind eye. There's a lot of stuff, the R. Kelly stuff, turned a blind eye. There's just a lot of stuff that we made okay. There was an interview that Whitney Houston did with the guy that used to be, I think it was Jay Leno's band leader. And it's just you've probably seen it. It's like a viral video. And he's being so inappropriate. And I said in the comment section, I was like, I don't understand why this was ever okay. Like he was so inappropriate with Whitney Houston. But she handled it. But these things, so when people say, oh, we've become too woke, I'm like, what are you really saying? And then when 8.5 weighed in talking about her transphobic tweets, I said, I'm done. I'm just I'm done. 8.5. Nice. I'm not going to even, I don't know. We're not going to even say your name. You're 8.5 because of yourself. Okay? We do not miss you at all. Okay? So the surrealism party, everyone's interacting. Bozoma and Dorit have a brief conversation, and they really open up to each other very quickly because Dorit talks about her separation, and Bozoma talks about losing her husband and retiring and things like that. Kathy Hilton, when she arrives, she sees Bozoma. She's like, boss. She's like, no, Bozoma. No, boss. No, they just didn't get what Kathy was saying. She's saying, no, Bozoma is the boss. And that's her Instagram name, okay? That's her Instagram name. Anyways, she's the boss. And I love that for her. But Bozoma says that, she's a good judge of character. And I said, because she says, when she meets someone, she's like, she knows if she likes them. I was like, okay. I hope this ends well for you, madam. I hope this ends well for you. Okay. All right. I say all that to say they have a quick conversation, and Bozoma says that she thinks that she's in love with Dorit. I'm gonna give her that, because there is a part of Dorit, especially this, last season, her confessionals, that we're like, yes, Dorit is showing up. She's being a confessional gangster, and we like it. And even this season, people are like, okay, Dorit is bringing it. It's one episode. Let's just wait. Look, let's just wait. So Dorit and Kyle are awkward around each other. I thought it was funny when Dorit first comes over, and Kyle is sitting with Garcelle and was Sutton there? I think so. And I thought it was interesting because it's funny how far Kyle and Garcelle have come. And I think it was after that conversation that they had about Garcelle's experience as a Black woman. I think it really did bring them a little bit closer. But Kyle saying that, she feels safe with Garcelle. So that's when they talk about Morgan and how she's like, I'm not going to even mention her name. I'm not going to even mention her name just because, that person doesn't want to be mentioned on the show. She doesn't really want to have anything to do with the show. She couldn't deal with all the attention and things like that. They're still friends. They were recently hanging out. I think I forgot where they were. And Morgan was like hiding in the truck somewhere. I was like, okay, girl, it's not that deep. No one cares. Like, we're happy that you're not back, Morgan. But not Garcelle, Kyle, don't gaslight us and make it seem like we are the ones. Look, the Bravo universe is a lot, but don't act like we're the ones who put this relationship here on Front Street. You did. You filmed with her. She benefited from being on this show because no one knew who she was, at least not me or anyone else knew who she was before being on here. And I told you a long time ago, I felt like this was a plot that Todd set up for you to come to us with the BS, okay, to help her career. But Garcelle, this is why Garcelle's necessary. She's going to say what we want to say to Kyle. She's like, all right, Kyle, you don't want to mention her name. We can't mention her name. She doesn't want to be on the show. Kyle talks about her sexuality. She opened up about her sexuality, questioning her sexuality to her kids. And I don't know what that means, but in the after show, Sutton says Kyle was talking about when she was in Aspen, she was trying to hook up with Kevin Costner. And this is exactly why Morgan was probably like, I'm keeping my distance from you because you're playing games with me. Like, part of you might be interested. It's for the lesbians that have dealt with a straight woman before, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, you know what it is. There have been lesbians that have fallen in love with straight women, and it's fallen apart for them. Okay, so I think that is what happened between Morgan. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle again ends up with a man. I don't think Kyle is a lesbian. I don't think Kyle is bisexual. Okay, but that's me. Okay, what do you believe at live chat? What do you believe? Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And of course, shout out to our subscribers. We appreciate you guys so much. And as always, shout out to those of you watching in the bushes. We appreciate you too. But don't forget to like the video. It's easy. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. All right. Because I gotta go. So I love the fact that Garcelle held her accountable. You were the one you thought I forgot, didn't you? You were the one doing the music video with her, alluding to this sexual relationship, alluding to this affair. And now we can't mention her. Now we're like, I love the fact that Garcelle held her accountable in that moment. We needed it because I'm sure all of us were screaming, don't gaslight us, Kyle. You brought on the show. You couldn't answer questions to what this was or what it was trying to be. Like, you filmed with her these weird crush-like scenes with her last season. And I'm okay. You don't want to mention her. You don't want to film with her on the show. I'm happy about that. Let's not talk about her anymore for the rest of the season. Thank you. Or your sexuality. We don't care. We don't care. And we don't care about Teddy. Don't bring Teddy on the show either. I'm sure Teddy will make an appearance, Lord. Dear Lord. Anyways, moving on from there, I want to talk about the conversation that Kyle and Dorit had, which will be continued. So we won't delve too much into this because this is already running long. Okay. Oh, damn. We're talking for like an hour. It's fine. Okay. An hour. Fantastic. So Dorit and Kyle have a conversation about their friendship and what went wrong in their friendship. And then Kyle brings up BravoCon. Then Dorit brings up what Kyle said on her Amazon Live about, they're not really that big a friend. And then Dorit bring up the text message. Okay. Like, I honestly, look, if I had to pick a team, I'm going to pick Dorit because Kyle, you're reaching. All the excuses that you gave as to why you have an issue with Dorit doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. It would have made more sense if the rumors were true that Dorit slept with your man, your husband. Then we'd be like, we understand, Kyle. Unless, and look, and I've said this before about reality television, unless what they're fighting about, they can't say, so they have to choose these other small things in order to fight over that. Unless it's that. But I don't know if it's that. I really don't know if it's that, because if the rumors were true that Mauricio and Dorit had a thing, I don't think that Mauricio and PK would be so close. Unless PK has his own thing, he really doesn't care. I really don't believe that. I think people love the sensationalism of that, but I don't know if I believe that. But what do you believe? What I don't believe is the excuses that Kyle is giving as to why she's mad at Dorit. I do believe by the end of the season, they're going to get over this and they're going to have a friendship again. But what was up with Kyle reaching out to PK and not reaching out to Dorit? Again, I feel like all of that is calculated to continue this narrative that they have these issues. But we'll take it as it is. We'll pretend. We'll play along, Kyle. That's foul. That's foul. Because no matter what you might have with Dorit, I would reach out to Dorit. I'm not going to be reaching out to PK. Okay? He's fine. He's probably the reason. Dorit did talk about her relationship with PK. It seems as if she wants to work it out, but he's so cut and dry. He's like, well, let's just separate. Again, I don't know if I believe that. I believe that this is just what they're doing as their storyline for this season. We shall see. Maybe next season, one of these couples will actually get a divorce. Not that I want that for them, but I'm tired of you guys playing in our faces. Very tired. Just saying. Guys, and that's it. That is it for now. I will be doing a separate recap for Real Housewives of New York and Salt Lake City once I watch Salt Lake City, but that probably won't be until, well, it's Thursday already. So that probably won't be until Friday. It's Friday. And as you know, I'll be traveling back to New York City. So things might be delayed, but I will be doing maybe I'll do just like one major recap for New York City, Salt Lake City, and Orange County. You guys let me know if I should just do that. Maybe that's what we will do. All right. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you all being here for our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. If you had to rate it from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I thought it was a solid beginning. I think I'm going to give it an 8. It wasn't perfect, but I definitely will give it an 8. There's a lot going on, a lot of people. I'm interested in the newbies, Jennifer Tilly and Bozoma St. John. Garcelle and Sutton still bringing it. Kyle, the tears are still there. Dorit definitely is activated this season, so that will be interesting. And Erica's still bringing it in her own way. Okay? The fashions, the gowns, beautiful gowns. Guys, as always, be sure to like the video. Be sure to share the video. Be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. That's how we continue to build this channel, multiple channels. Shout out to those of you that are watching on Facebook. Guys, head on to our Facebook too. You might be missing stuff over there. I'm going to start doing live streams there. And I will be doing a separate podcast episode of talking about the Kempire After Dark LA show. So make sure you subscribe to the Kempire podcast while you're there. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. 5 stars, nothing less, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Again, thank you to everyone that supported my stay here in Los Angeles. Shout out to Sister on the Move. Shout out to Judy. Shout out to Zach Peter. Shout out to The Bourbon Room. Shout out to my opening act and content creator, Alexandra Diane Rogers. And just shout out to all of you that came out on a Wednesday night to the LA show. You are so greatly appreciated. I hope you guys had a fantastic time. Also, go check out my conversation with Heather McDonald over at Juicy Scoop. And thank you to Heather for having me yet again. I appreciate all of the support. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning into The Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. As always, don't forget to give The Kempire podcast a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And as always, for more information on Kempire, social media, and other things Kempire, check out the description for more details.